What's going on, my fellow deplorables? It's your boy Kevin. Welcome back to the 1776 Report. Fellow conservative YouTuber, podcaster, and Daily Wire reporter Matt Walsh has now been kicked off of YouTube, or pretty much kicked off of YouTube. He's being censored. He's doing nothing wrong, just voicing his own opinion. Now YouTube is telling him what he can and cannot say. And if he doesn't follow the rules, he will be silenced. He will be demonetized. He will not be able to make an income. Why is this happening? Well, because he misgendered Dylan Mulvaney. In a YouTube video he posted to his channel, breaking down the Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney controversy, and he misgendered Dylan. That is the crime of the century, according to liberals and Democrats all around the country. They no longer have a valid argument. They no longer have an argument that resonates with a plurality of Americans. So what do? Obviously, they try to shut us up, quiet us, because that is what they have to do in order to maintain power. Because we have common sense on our side, and common sense always wins. Matt Walsh tried to visit the University of Iowa to give a speech yesterday, and he was met with a crowd of woke, purple-haired rioters, protesters, whatever you want to call them. They go hand in hand pretty much today. Met with signs, trans people don't need to justify their happiness, trans rights are human rights. The typical propaganda in full fashion in the crowd there. Well, he was trying to just give a speech, voice his opinion, and he was met with these protesters who were blocking roads, blocking streets, and trying to prevent him from voicing his opinion. Well, they were unsuccessful, and Matt Walsh did give his speech in front of a standing room only crowd. The place was jam-packed because Matt Walsh's opinion resonates with a lot of Americans, and this is what he had to say, and what he had to say is actually really damn scary.
Media Matters took the time to review dozens of videos from back 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago, publishing their findings under a headline promising to reveal my sordid past. Now, these institutional efforts to silence me and us have continued all the way up to this week. So in fact, less than a day before I was hacked, we received word from YouTube that I had committed a series of alleged violations of their terms of service and also of their ad partnership guidelines, which will now lead to my demonetization and potentially being banished forever from the platform. Now, YouTube's ploy, what we have to understand about big tech, their ploy is to be intentionally vague about their guidelines. They won't tell you. They'll tell you you violated something, but they won't tell you exactly what it was or how that thing violates the guideline, because they want to afford themselves the latitude to demonetize and deplatform you whenever they feel like it. In fact, they did tell us, though, they cited 3. There were a number of violations they claimed. They'd only tell us about 3 of them. All 3 of them, coincidentally, had to do with Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah. Now, I don't know, just coincidentally, YouTube decided you're not allowed to say anything about Dylan Mulvaney. YouTube has decided that I'm not allowed to use biologically accurate language when discussing Dylan, or presumably any other trans-identified person. So we were told by sources at YouTube that a decision to target our channel had come from the highest levels of the company. And they're looking for something, a reason to take us out. Now, of course, there is a way out of this jam. You know, the big tech, they're very generous, and they'll give you a potential off-ramp. So if I simply respect the preferred pronouns and I stop accurately gendering people, then I can likely continue to do my show on the platform. I can get it remonetized after, a short probationary period. And I can continue making over $100,000 a month on YouTube ads.
All right, so Matt Walsh, really popular YouTube channel, a couple million subscribers, bringing in over $100,000 a month in AdSense revenue. He was making a really nice living. What does he do wrong? Well, he voices his opinion. He identifies Dylan Mulvaney using his biological sex. But according to YouTube, that is so wrong. That is such a travesty. It's such a human rights violation that Matt Walsh should no longer have a platform. His voice should no longer be heard. Now, Matt Walsh is not going to be posting to YouTube anymore. According to this speech, he is going to be posting his channel, his show, on Twitter and Rumble. And free of charge on Daily Wire Plus. And you got to respect that. You got to respect the man standing up and saying, no, I am not going to bow down to these woke identity politics, the victimization of people who are not really victims. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to stand for it. Sure, you can take my money. You can take my $100,000 a month. But I'm not going to bow down. And I'm not going to kiss the ring. And Matt Walsh was hacked. His Twitter account was hacked less than a week ago by some woke kid who said he did it because he was bored. But the stuff the kid posted on Matt Walsh's Twitter account was absolutely disturbing. Walsh's account first appeared compromised Tuesday night after a series of out-of-character posts appeared on his feed. They included jabs at fellow conservative media figures, included colleague and Daily Wire host Ben Shapiro. In a tweet directed at Shapiro, the hack, who goes by the alias Doomed, wrote, "You know what you did. You are a closeted homosexual and hide behind being Jewish." Other tweets included, "Joe Rogan is a pedo." A pinned tweet on Matt Walsh's profile, which was suspended a few hours after the hacks began, read, "My pronouns are the N-word." Okay, so this is the type of stuff the left is resorting to. They have no argument. Their arguments are flawed. Their arguments are everybody who is in a minority identity standpoint is a victim, and that's just not true. Dylan Mulvaney is not a victim. Dylan Mulvaney is making a lot of money, and Dylan Mulvaney is an adult who can defend themselves. Nobody's attacking Dylan Mulvaney by identifying them by their biological sex. This is the individual who's a victim. This is the person who's the victim. Dylan Mulvaney, the transgender influencer who has over 10 million TikTok followers. Those partnerships have boosted both the transgender activist's following and bank account, with the 26-year-old amassing a reported net worth of $1.5 million. The former musical theater student has taken on the role of brand ambassador for major brands, including Charlotte Tilbury, MAC Cosmetics, Mugler, Kate Spade, Bud Light, Nike, Tampax. Okay? Mulvaney has grown a following of 10.8 million TikTok followers and 1.7 million Instagram followers. In each sponsored post, listen in, each sponsored post earns the influencer an estimated $50,000 to $80,000. The last 3 sponsored posts would be estimated at around $150,000. This is the individual who the leftist woke media and activists are claiming is a victim. The person who posts on TikTok and earns $150,000 because they get a can of Bud Light with their face on it. It's worth $150,000. Dylan Mulvaney is not providing anything of substantive value to any of these companies. The only thing Dylan Mulvaney provides to these companies is it gives them the woke card. The woke card, the identity politics cards. It placates to the woke media. It placates to the woke activists. And that's all these companies care about. Bud Light had no intention of Dylan Mulvaney selling any beer, which should be the goal for Bud Light. But Bud Light wanted to placate to the woke liberal ideologues, and that's exactly why they paid Dylan Mulvaney that $150,000 sponsorship and put them's face on the can. Let me know what you think about all of this. Matt Walsh off of YouTube. It's a tragedy. You got to love him standing up for what is right. Let me know in the comments. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until next time, peace out.